Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for coming to watch. I got us an update on Hurricane Erin. So, Hurricane Erin is just a few hundred miles off the coast of the Carolinas as we speak right now. This is going to be our final update on Hurricane Erin as she makes her final approach to the East Coast. What kind of impacts will she bring? Got all the details coming right up, right? So, thank you for joining me here on this Wednesday afternoon. We have lots to talk about in this video. We're going to be going over all of the final and latest details on Hurricane Erin, which again is just a few hundred miles off the coast of the Carolinas and is expected to bring some significant impacts to the East Coast throughout this week. So if we start out here, as always, by taking a look at your current satellite, again, you can see Erin in the bottom of your screen actually starting to develop a very small pinhole eye out there. You can see very clearly right into here, very healthy looking center core of that system. So again, Erin is becoming a very, very healthy looking and large system, very deep pockets and amounts of convection going on around the center of the storm. So that outer core is growing very significantly in size, as well as that wind field, and we are expecting Erin to at least become a Category 3 hurricane very, very soon. So this is likely a major hurricane as we speak, but again, very, very clear pinhole eye, very, very small eye in the very center of that storm, and then obviously those outer bands are huge, almost making their way towards the Carolina coastline, where we could be talking about some decently heavy rainfall and some very gusty winds later tonight. But if you take a look at the forecast cone here, again, as of right now, this is your tropical storm wind field as of 2 p.m. Today, so it's about 2 hours ago. Then you can see that hurricane wind field in the brown shade. So Erin is expected to become a major hurricane once again and continue throughout the rest of today into tomorrow. And then by the time we get into tomorrow night, it will be starting to make that curve out to sea once again. But Erin is almost the closest she will ever be to the East Coast at this very point. But as she goes out to sea, she's going to weaken back down to a Category 2 and eventually Category 1 hurricane. And right now, no other pieces of land are in the forecast cone. So Bermuda is obviously no longer in the cone. Nobody in Atlantic Canada or even the Northeast, nobody is in the cone. So Erin is just expected to be a fish storm after now, but definitely some significant impacts are going to be felt across the Northeast and the rest of the East Coast, just because of how large that wind field is. But if we take a look at your current warnings here, we actually do have tropical storm surge warnings going out for portions of the Outer Banks here, places like Kitty Hawk, Cape Hatteras, Beaufort, Nag's Head. You guys are all under storm surge warnings. So again, this is going out for areas that are expected to see very significant storm surge of potentially up to 4 feet. So again, that's the potential for 2 to 4 feet of above ground, of water above ground somewhere within surge-prone areas. So again, that's, almost above, your waist, depending on obviously how tall you are. So that's very significant, damaging, life-threatening storm surge. We also do have now tropical storm warnings for all of the areas that were placed under tropical storm watches yesterday. So portions of southern Maryland, the very southern shores of Maryland here, the Tidewater region, you guys are currently under tropical storm warning, so down towards Exmoor and Onondaga. Also down to Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is now under a tropical storm warning, as well as areas just to the east of Elizabeth City, so Currituck or Surrituck, you guys are currently under that tropical storm warning, as well as the rest of the outer banks. You just can't really see it here because the storm surge warnings are covering those. But we definitely are talking about some major impacts here as far as tropical storm winds and obviously the heavy rainfall is concerned. But all of these areas in this blue are also under tropical storm warnings. So I want to make that clear because I know it doesn't look like that, but it's just that the storm surge warnings are kind of hiding the tropical storm warnings there. Alright, so we're going to be moving on here now to the European model. We're going to be taking a look at our hour-by-hour forecast for Erin. So again, Erin right here in the bottom of your screen, continuing to make that northward turn up towards the East Coast. And thankfully, it looks like Erin has stopped moving northwest, so she's pretty much moving due north now. And again, really by around 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, so that when you guys wake up for a lot of you for work, but just, in general, whenever you wake up, Erin will be just off the coast of the Carolinas, again, likely as a major Category 3 hurricane. And the Euro is going for about a 947 millibar, likely Cat 2, Cat 3 kind of scenario, but it is bringing some of the outer bands notice into the Carolinas, so I definitely would not rule out the chance for seeing some gusty downpours throughout the early morning and overnight hours of tonight into tomorrow morning. So you really want to make sure that you are not letting your guard down about, obviously, the possibility of seeing precipitation and rain from Erin, but otherwise, everyone else across the East Coast should be fine. There is obviously the chance that we will see some rain even as far north as the Tidewater region. Now, it looks like that's probably not going to be happening unless Erin does make a significant wobble back northwest. But after that, really as we get into midday tomorrow, the worst of the impacts for the Carolinas will be over. Again, that outer core, even just, barely off the coast of the Carolinas. That is a very, very close miss there. I mean, that is literally just about 100 miles or so away from getting hurricane force winds and very significant storm surge. So we should be very thankful that we are barely missing the worst case scenario here. But as we get into our Thursday morning, Erin will continue to move off to the northwest, pulling away from the East Coast, but definitely a lot closer to the New England coastline. I do want to note that the European has been taking much farther to the west here, rather than making a very sharp curve to the east and out to sea. So we take a look at the previous runs. Again, you can see a lot of them way farther out east, and the take west continues. So definitely something that we need to watch. It is definitely slowing down as well, though. But Erin is going to be much closer to the New England coastline than we initially thought. So even, you're getting close to seeing even some precipitation in the portions of southern New England. So would I rule out the chance of seeing outer bands? I wouldn't, but I really doubt that we're going to get any form of precipitation out there, at least directly from Erin, but I definitely do think that gusty winds are going to be an issue, as well as big-time waves, because again, Erin is going to be pushing lots of water into the New England coastline, and the closer she gets, the higher the waves will be. And then eventually, as we get into Thursday night and eventually into Friday, Erin will officially pull away from the East Coast and begin affecting Atlantic Canada, so we switch things over to you guys. Give me 1 second. Let's see, Southeast Canada. So, Erin will continue to grow in size, still staying as about a 958 at this point post-tropical cyclone. But getting, once again, very close to Newfoundland as well as Nova Scotia. I mean, very close pass to there as well. So, likely similar conditions to the East Coast and even the Carolinas potentially, with tropical storm force winds being likely, and even possibly some of those outer bands. I mean, you can see, especially Newfoundland, I mean, as we get into really midday Saturday, that's a very, very close pass from the outer core of Hurricane Erin. So, definitely do not let your guard down if you guys are out there. So we move over here to now the peak storm surge forecast from the National Hurricane Center, and this has expanded and actually been upgraded for a few areas since last time we looked at this. So if we take a look, you can see in your blue shade, this is where we're expecting up to 3 feet of storm surge. So from the South Santee River all the way to Cape Lookout, as well as the Neuse and Bay Rivers, as well as the Pamlico and Pungo Rivers, 1 to 3 feet of storm surge is to be expected there. So again, storm surge is not the wave height. I want to make that clear. Storm surge is the amount of water that's going to be above areas, or at least on areas, that are normally dry. So you're talking about roads, backyards, areas around rivers, creeks, streams, all of that kind of stuff. So all of that water from the ocean is going to be moving inland, and it's going to kind of act like a wall of water, except not, not literally, but slowly but surely all of that water is going to be moving inland, and you can expect 1 to 3 feet of standing water in those areas that are usually dry. But we do have another zone here of up to 4 feet of storm surge from Duck to Cape Lookout. This also includes areas like Cape Hatteras, Nag's Head. All of you guys are expected to see 2 to 4 feet of storm surge. So again, that's getting close to, like a grown man's waist. Okay, so that's very, very high up. That is life-threatening. That's able to definitely sweep you off your feet and definitely bring a lot of big-time debris into, far into roads and, just it creates a very, very chaotic and very messy scene. So I believe that there are a few evacuation orders actually in effect for these areas. If not all of these areas are supposed to be evacuated, but if you are on the very outer banks, big time storm surge is expected, so you really want to make sure that you are avoiding the immediate coastline and that you're getting as far inland as possible. But that 1 to 3 feet of storm surge zone also does continue up north. The lower Chesapeake Bay has been included now. 1 to 3 feet of storm surge expected, so up towards the Tidewater region, all the way up towards Maryland, Delmarva. 1 to 3 feet of storm surge, and even all the way up to the Jersey coastline and into New York City, we are expecting up to 3 feet of storm surge. So all the way up to Sandy Hook and the Fire Island kind of areas there, that's where we're also talking about up to 3 feet of storm surge. So again, Erin, it may not seem like she's going to cause too much harm to the United States. Well, because she's such a big system and because she's moving so close, she's going to push a lot of water towards the East Coast, so it may not even be raining where you are, and you could actually be talking about significant storm surge. So it's a pretty wild system. I mean, we usually don't see something like this happen, so that's why it's kind of difficult to forecast this, but we really want to make sure that people are avoiding the waters, even if it looks like the hurricane is, nowhere close and not even close to being nearby. Alright, so we move over here now to the European model. Speaking of the waves and storm surge, we now look at, this is the wave height. So this is how high the waves coming in from the ocean are going to be. If you look at, a camera placed on the beachfront and you obviously look at the waves, this is how high they're going to be. So this is not the storm surge, this is just the wave height. And you can see as Erin makes her close approach, as we get into tonight, the peak wave height looks to be at around 20 to 25 feet for the Outer Banks here. You see these purples, especially those light purples, that's where you're talking about upwards of 20-foot waves. Alright, so this is going to cause significant beach erosion. Those roads that are on the immediate coastline are going to be completely flooded out and inundated. So this is going to be the driving factor of what's going to be pushing all of that water inland from the ocean. But monstrous waves are expected. You can see even into Florida still, we're talking about waves of up to 10 feet high. And as we continue the simulation, eventually Erin makes her close pass to the New England coastline. You see even these reds reaching portions of the southern New England coastline, portions of the Jersey coast, Tidewater region. That's where we can expect waves higher or even around 15 feet. So again, that is a very, very significant number there, and definitely just coastal conditions that you do not want to mess around with. So if you are anywhere on the eastern seaboard, please try to avoid the water at all costs. I don't care if you're a sailor, a swimmer, a surfer, anybody, everyone needs to avoid the waters here, because again, these waves are going to be very dangerous to all levels of experienced swimmers there. And then eventually Erin will pull on out, and that wave height will eventually be much more smaller there, but it's gonna take a few days, because obviously Erin's gonna be sticking with us for a couple more days at least. Alright, so we move over here to the European ensemble. We're gonna be taking a look at your 24-hour max wind gusts. So a lot of people are probably saying, well, if Erin's going to be coming so close to us, then how strong are the winds going to be? Well, I have news for you. Erin's wind field is going to be growing significantly and has been growing significantly over the past couple of hours. So even if Erin doesn't make, obviously, a landfall, which she won't, she will still bring some very, very significant wind gusts to the East Coast. And you take a look, we'll start out with the Carolinas here. This is where we have the tropical storm warnings, and this is why we have the tropical storm warnings. Wind gusts of potentially 50, 60, maybe even a 70-mile-an-hour wind gust cannot be ruled out here across the Outer Banks of North Carolina. 40 to 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts expected here for the Virginia coast, as well as the Tidewater region, so Chesapeake Bay area, especially the lower Chesapeake Bay area, is where we're expecting likely up to 50-mile-an-hour winds. So anywhere in this red shade or even this gold shade, this is what we're talking about, winds in excess of 50 miles per hour. And I will say this is upticked quite a bit for our folks in New England here, where you can see as we get into the Jersey coastline offshore. I mean, you're not too far away from seeing a 60-mile-an-hour wind gust anywhere from really Cape Cod, Nantucket, all the way down through Long Island, Connecticut, and even the Jersey coastline. I mean, this is where we could still be talking about some very significant gusts. So we can actually switch things over here to the northeast U.S. to get a better look at this. And again, I mean, we're still going to be talking about very, very significant winds up here, even as Erin makes her kind of curve out to sea. But, you know, Cape Cod, Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Long Island, I mean, everybody is going to be talking about a very windy, blustery day, even far inland in the portions of central Massachusetts and Connecticut. We're still talking about 30 to 40 and 50-mile-an-hour winds closer to the coastline. So very, very significant wind gusts are expected all across the East Coast as Erin makes her very, very close approach, all right? So we take a look now at the official rip current risk for the United States. This is going to be for tomorrow, so really we'll talk about today first, but today we have a high risk of rip currents all the way from the Long Island coastline down through the mid-Atlantic coastline into the Carolinas and even down into Florida. We all have a red high risk for rip currents. So if you are in that rip current risk, make sure that you are staying out of the water. A lot of beaches are putting up red flags, meaning that you are not allowed to go in the water, but we are urging sailors, swimmers, and surfers, anybody, to stay out of the water, because again, this is going to be very dangerous. There have been over 50 water rescues in just 24 hours, and still counting. I mean, we have dozens of water rescues happening today, but yesterday we already had 50, and Erin is still not even at her closest point towards the United States yet, so we really need to make sure that everyone is staying out of the water and really kind of urging this message to be heard by everybody and taken seriously, because again, if you do go in the water, there is a very high chance that you will interact with a rip current, which will be very strong and it'll pull you farther out to sea, where you're also talking about the significant wave heights, so it's just not a good combination for everybody out here along the East Coast. But as we get into tomorrow, nothing really changes except for the fact that the rip current risk will spread, now seeing that high risk get out to portions of the far northern New England coastline, so Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Cape Cod. Everybody in this red shade, even the yellow shade, needs to be staying out of the water and really paying attention to their local National Weather Service offices for coastal flood advisories, watches, and warnings, because it really does look like this is going to be a very significant few days here of dangerous coastal conditions, alright? So that's all I got for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. I apologize for no video yesterday. Well, we actually did have a video yesterday, funny enough. I was muted the whole time. I accidentally muted my microphone, so I apologize for the inconvenience last night and just getting this update out a little bit later than usual, but this will be likely my last update on Erin. We might do another one tomorrow, so don't be surprised if there's another one coming out, but this will likely be our last one. Again, as Erin is expected to make her final approach to the U.S. As we get into the overnight hours. So, again, make sure you guys are staying safe out there. That rip current risk is going to remain very, very high for the next couple of days. Huge waves and huge swells across the East Coast, so make sure you're staying out of the water and, avoiding beaches, because, again, areas of significant coastal flooding is looking possible. And even if you're not getting hit by the hurricane, even if it looks like there's no way a hurricane is, out to, anywhere nearby, do not let your guard down, because we looked at the storm surge forecast, and it's up to 3 feet for areas as far north as New York City and the Jersey coast, alright? So, again, stay safe out there, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button, hit the like button if you like the video, and yeah, that's pretty much it. So, thank you all for coming to watch, and I'll see you guys in the next video.